Hi, Chris, and everybody. Just a quick explainer video. I thought that this would be cool. I would love to do many more of these in the future. For now, focused on the Punkscape launch, but maybe after that. Um, Regarding your question on how to find the metadata for a collection. So this works for any collection that has a custom smart contract. It's a little different, or I actually don't know how to do it for a collection that is centralized and hosted on OpenSea. Centralized meaning the metadata is centralized, or it doesn't belong to like a collection smart contract. Anyways, here on any token page, you can scroll down to this details section, and here it links to the contract address. If you know that already, you can start from there. This links to Etherscan. Etherscan is a site where you can basically browse all the different all the transactions that are happening on chain, and you can look at the smart contracts and other wallets, etc., etc. But for now, let's check out the One Day Punk smart contract. There's the code right there. You could read through that here. But more importantly for this, there's this read contract section. And if you scroll down, there's this method here called the token URI. And this is defined by the ERC721 token standard. This is the most common NFT standard for smart contracts. And all of them have to implement this particular function right here. And this takes a token ID and will give you back a link to the metadata file of this particular token. So for example, for token ID 0, this is the link to the metadata for this token, and you could go through that and get the link for every single one, but you already see that the only thing that's changing here is the number in there. So for example, token ID 9999, it's the highest one, has this link. If we copy this, so actually let's have a look at this here in the beginning. Ipfs is short for Interplanetary File System or file storage. I don't know. It's a decentralized file hosting network platform kind of thing, where anybody, it's also permissionless, anybody can spin up a node, an Ipfs node, and participate in this network to host, or they call it pin, files or folders. And it's actually a good practice for all of you as token owners to do this, because it's permissionless and anybody can do this. You can host the entire metadata collection of the One Day Punks, for example, yourselves, if you wanted to. And then this piece here is a Ipfs content identifier, which is just the hash of the entire content of this folder, which is all the JSON and all the images for each item in the collection. And this hash, like there's an algorithm that produces it, and it's the same. Whenever you calculate the hash for the same content, it's the same string that you get here. If we were to change only like one character or one pixel in an image or in a metadata file for the entire collection, then this hash would be completely different. But anyways, that's besides the point. We can copy this thing here and open this in a gateway. There's many different ones. A gateway that through which we can access the Ipfs network via HTTP, the web browser, our web network basically. And one is, for example, called gateway.pinata, and here we can paste in this metadata content identifier and then the link to the metadata file for the token that we want to have. And this is the metadata for the token 9999, and it describes the attributes it has, it links to the image, etc., etc. We can remove this metadata.json to take a look at the entire folder, and within here we have both the image for this token and the metadata file. And we could basically, you could, for example, the token ID 0, token ID 1, look at the traits. Here, change this to 2. So it's always different. Token ID 3. This is for each token. This defines their attributes. Now you could do this to download every single one like that. But if you remove all of this and look at the entire folder, basically just the content ID, then this would be a folder with 10,000 subfolders that each contains this metadata file and the image, which takes a while to load up or doesn't even work because of like timeouts and stuff. But you can download Ipfs desktop, and through this application, if we take this content ID and browse that, come on, expect. That takes a while to load up as well, but through that you could download the entire metadata collection for this. And I'll leave this in the background, but most importantly, you can do this, okay, whatever. So yeah, you can play around with that. This works for any ERC721 token. Come on. So for example, if we look at the Bored Ape Yacht Club, this is the same process. You load up the smart contract on Etherscan. You look at the contract, the read contract, then you go all the way down to the token URI. And for example, here, if we get for the token ID 1, this is, they also host their metadata on Ipfs. This is not always the case, but for these two collections it is. This is the content identifier for the entire collection of metadata files for the Bored Apes. Anyways, this is already way too long. I hope you found it useful. Have a great day or evening or morning or whatever. Peace.